Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Marisa Lopez, and I will be reviewing my marketing portfolio for the business universal products and services assigned in our marketing 6811 class by Professor Russell Schultz. So, the overview of my presentation is that we'll be covering my marketing persona as well as my LinkedIn, five top marketing insights that I've discovered throughout this class, in addition to some examples and designs that I've created for universal products and services and how I've added them throughout the course. First up, we'll be reviewing my I persona that I created at the beginning of this course. So I initially created a persona based on my interests and some of my qualifications in the industry. So I'm currently 28. I am a communications specialist for a school district. So I constantly create content for them, promoting some events throughout the school year and highlighting some educational things and staff members within our school district. Some of my interests are photography, art design, plants, coffee shops, and businesses, and TV shows. I would say at the beginning of this class that I named some of my strengths as brand development, content creation, digital marketing, graphic design, photography, and web design. Some of my weaknesses or some areas that I have yet to have experience in is the affiliate or corporate partnerships, or business management or influencer partnerships. So I definitely would like to learn more within these fields and gain more experience. As I've typically handled smaller business accounts through social media marketing, I have yet to experience what it would be like to work for an agency in the marketing industry and creating content for multiple organizations at a time, in addition to creating influencer partnerships that would help increase some of that reach and attention for our customers. Some of my personal goals include wanting to change my career path and become more familiar with working in a larger scale marketing agency and within that field. That is kind of my motivation and trying to get myself in a place that is more financially stable. So at the moment, as I stated, I work at a school district which is typically known not to provide a lot of income. So to combat that, I am also working a second job to kind of meet those requirements and become financially stable. With the assistance of my master's degree, unfortunately, they were unable to compensate me accordingly. So it's still going to become something that I achieve towards and work towards, to getting a more financially stable area that I would like to be in. So I guess that would also be another one of my frustrations, and wanting to kind of create a more stable time management, and kind of something that where I could just be able to kind of focus all of my energy rather than having multiple things that I'm focusing on and unable to kind of provide the best of my abilities at that moment. So based on this I persona, I was able to kind of gain an understanding of some of my skills and how they relate into the marketing industry, as well as how this would be able to assist me with some of the projects that we would be creating throughout the course. As we went on, it was easy to see that like there were some things that I thought I had been confident in, and such as like the design and making content creation. Although, like I did find myself having a little bit of a challenge to create content toward a specific user persona. So the one that I had was Dr. Michelle Yochum, which is a nurse. So I found it a little bit difficult sometimes because I thought like creating content would have to be generalized towards that specific audience. But throughout this course, I've been learning that it's a lot better to kind of create a specific niche or a user persona to market towards, that will kind of help people identify themselves within the user of the companies. So those were my personal insights as we were going throughout the course. Is that creating user personas was something that was, or creating designs surrounding a user persona was something a little bit challenging that I had to kind of think outside of the box and how I could present that content towards that specific audience member. So some of the things that we had was like a toothpick, and it was a little bit difficult to kind of see how it would fit in this specific user persona's world and like what would their demand or interests or insights would be. But I kind of had to step outside of myself and kind of put myself in that user persona's shoes and think about what would be most important to them. This was also a new topic for me as we were creating a design and a brand identity for a company. I am one to first admit that I struggle with creating logos. So I am a little bit better at like getting a product and being able to kind of design something around the product. But logos, I know this is something that I specifically struggle with, is creating something iconic that would represent the business and kind of identify what their mission and vision is and like what services that they offer through this logo. So essentially, I wanted to kind of play off the fact that of the kind of initial um, uh, letters of the business. So including Universal Products, UP within the logo, I thought was important, and kind of playing off that element of being universal and kind of being accessible to all kinds of businesses. So being able to provide products to any kind of business within the industry that we service. So now we'll review some of my LinkedIn profile. Um, at the beginning of this course, I did not know that we would have to follow up with some changes. So when I first submitted my assignment, I had made some initial changes to my LinkedIn profile. So you might be familiar with some of the things that I have shown before. So in these changes that I've made, I've decided to take some advice from some TikTok videos that I've been seeing on how to promote yourself and increase your basically SEO of your within your marketing industry on LinkedIn. One of the tips that I followed and kind of took into consideration was to kind of identify myself as a marketing specialist within the tagline of my name. So as soon as my name pops up, or if I comment on anything, the tagline on my name will also show up on those parts of engagement. So people can see that I'm specifically tailored to the marketing industry, and those are my specializations. So either if I am applying to some jobs or engaging somewhere else on social media, it's easy for everyone to see what my area of expertise is, and they can seek out additional information based off of that tagline. In addition to that, I also wanted to update my about section. Previously, it had a kind of like an overview of like who I was, what some of my goals were, but it didn't really provide any insight to what I've worked on in the past or some of my skills and qualifications that I have. So I kind of wanted this about section to be more tailored, almost similarly to a cover letter that provided an overall experience of who I am and what some of my skills are, what experiences that I have, and some of the tools that I know how to utilize within the industry. I decided to do this to kind of, again, provide additional information, but kind of provide like more of an insight to what I've worked on in the past and some qualifications that I have, so that when someone or like a job potential is looking at my profile, they're able to gain a full roundabout understanding of what the skills I have, what my experiences are, and kind of a personable description of some of my passions within the marketing industry. So throughout this course, I've learned a lot. So I will review some of my top 5 marketing insights, which are kind of the influence of social media and creating a marketing campaign through that. All of this, while it might not be, some of this was not new, as some of this information was new for me to understand. So, one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout this course is that social media not only creates a space for uh, promoting the products that you have within your company, but it's also a way that customers can engage with your company directly through purchasing online, through the paid advertisements, or just being able to connect with the company through engagement in conversations, through the comments, or connecting with them directly through direct messages. One of the findings is states that over 80% of consumers will continue to buy products directly from social media apps rather than directly from the website. That was something that I thought was really important because, like, as we know, images and kind of presentation is everything. So if something is off on that presentation on the paid advertisement, then a link is corrupt or not working, then that makes for a space that will just kind of not, customers are unable to engage with your product or purchase your item, and kind of interrupts that user experience. So it's important that, like, not only that we create content on social media, but is ensuring that customers are able to easily access the website and some of that information that they are seeking out. In addition to that, I learned the importance of the influencers and the social media marketing strategies. Not only do influencers play an important role, but they allow companies to create a wider range of audience members that they didn't have previously to the influencers, and they're able to capitalize on their followers and gain an understanding of what their needs are directly through that influencer. So they're able to address some of those needs directly and kind of connect more with the influencer through social media. Um, Not only that, but social media monitoring and listening is important when creating a strategy, because it's important to understand, like, not only who your audience is, but how they're engaging in the conversation around your brand is. So that kind of allows you to create a space to track and analyze the conversations, as well as kind of understanding like what's being said about your brand and how you could possibly address some of those issues. Those can be easily identified by using hashtags or mentions throughout your business, as also as monitoring some of the conversations and engagements within your posts. In addition to that, I learned that the user personas are key to understanding who your audience are and creating tailored messages towards those audience members, to ensure that you are meeting their needs and addressing how your company can address those needs through the product. The overview, social media marketing has impacted the way users interact with businesses. Users are more than likely to engage with a company that they can easily connect with online. So we're seeing more that customers are valuing the fact that we are able to connect with companies through different mediums and platforms. It's also said that soon that customers are going to be having the expectation to reach a specific brand specifically through their social media and direct messages rather than going online to their website and their customer service platform. Customers want transparency and they want kind of a quick turnaround on some of the information that they're seeking out. And so they're hoping that this would be an easier way to get connected. Now I'll be reviewing some of my project portfolios for some of the projects we've had to submit throughout the course. As I go through them, I will kind of point out some of the key things that I have changed throughout some of these projects. First off, I will be showing my overall logo that I've created and kind of banner. So you can see that some of the top information that they've included was Universal Products and Services and their tagline. And so I took some advice from the past and changed out some of the URLs or email information to kind of be more centralized, central around the products versus the services. So this is my initial LinkedIn profile that I've created. As you can see, a lot of this information looks a little bit more digital and kind of social media tailored to creating customized products and services. So that was kind of like one of the biggest things that I wanted to focus on when I was editing my projects again and going back, is that to create um, a more centralized look about what the company actually represents. So I decided to remove some of those elements and just kind of stick to the basics and kind of um, just go about it on a different way. I still a little bit like more modern, more a little bit kind of technological, but taking that aspect out and kind of focusing more on products and being able to service those products. So, as you see, I also changed out some of the images as well by combining our expertise in manufacturing capabilities. Will provide you with all the tools you'll need to run your business. We make purchasing products and services easy. So, this was a way to kind of market towards some of the products that we would be utilizing throughout the course and advertising, such as the toothpicks and the sporks or bowls. Kind of marketing towards an overall what we offer as services to corporate businesses or businesses that might need items on a wholesale level. This is an example of like what I created for our Facebook. Again, utilizing the same kind of background and information. You can see that I created an advertisement for the sports special for providing three colors. After this one, I realized that I needed to target more towards my user persona. So I needed to go back through some of my designs and kind of tailor that specifically to my persona. So some of the changes that I've made are just creating a more centralized marketing strategy towards Michelle Yochum, my user persona. So kind of more emphasizing on some of the things that was important to her, kind of giving back to the community, giving back to the environment, creating, using sustainable products as she was a nurse. I wanted to call out at some of those. Marketing practices or kind of identifiers that she'd be able to search through hashtags as well. So on the left, I've updated my toothpick summer sale. Previously, I had a this or that where I showed a sweet and savory image, but now since I kind of centralized that to one image and kind of focused more on the idea of toothpicks being recyclable. On the right, you'll see that I have an post that I've created. This one, I believe, was for Twitter. So some of the suggestions that I received or the feedback that I received for this was some wording or changing, including the idea of Nurses Week as a way to kind of create a more specific hashtag that my user persona might be able to search out, in addition to providing more information about the recyclable material. I also previously just had one spork, and so in this round, I made sure to include all three sporks so that customers are able to view some of the options that we have available and create an emphasis on the material that it's made from. So again, eating sustainably just got easier, and I wanted to centralize the fact around that, like, nurses are um, constantly on the go, or they don't have a lot of space, so they kind of want to minimize that by just having an all-in-one tool and having to utilize the spork. I think it'll definitely kind of help a market towards the nurses and the doctors, as you know, having 12-hour shifts or long shifts, it could be hard to manage, like, or your expectations of how your hunger levels might be. So being able to market with this specific item and kind of background is kind of calling to that and seeing if they can utilize this item. The entire fitness video. But this was also another way that we were going. I was marketing the bowls. So I created again another promotion to highlight the sustainability of the bowls that Universal Products offers. I wanted to kind of create an option for customers to either choose an eco friendly or a glass container. Again, I wanted this to be marketed toward Michelle Yochum. So, kind of again playing off the idea that she would have a longer shift throughout the day and wanting to be more conscientious about what materials that is she using, and kind of the durability or the long lasting or the economical or eco-friendly event that the items and products have for the specific item. And those are my resources. I want to thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And I look forward to seeing the rest of the class's presentation and wish everyone luck as they continue either to wrap up their degree or continue their education and further that. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.